Time to win another race in Mario Kart. I can't move, guys, I got the Joy-Con drift, I can't move. All of a sudden, huh? You didn't say that the last race you were winning. I can't move, it's just moving by itself, I'm not even touching the controller. The Joy-Cons pack a lot of technology in a small case. The Joy-Cons have an NFC reader, motion controls, an IR sensor, which I found an app that lets you see in the dark. They have an accelerometer, and HD rumble, which actually produces sound, like in Mario Party. But the main thing Nintendo released that shows everything the Joy-Cons can do is Nintendo Labo. Sorry I can't play right now, my Switch is in piano mode. Or how about an intro to robotics using my Switch as the controller? Sure, there's lots of things you can do with the Joy-Cons, and I have two pairs right here. But one pair has Joy-Con drift, and the other has some connectivity issues. Now the first thing you should check if you're having Joy-Con drift, or any other issues, is make sure your Joy-Cons are up to date. You can also calibrate the control sticks. As for the connectivity issues, I don't know if it's an issue with an antenna or something on my Joy-Cons, but on the Nintendo website, there was actually some helpful tips that I think fixed my issue. One of them said, don't place your Switch near any metal objects.
Metal Gear.
Now at first I was like, okay, metal objects, whatever, but then I remembered, my Switch is old. So old, in fact, that the fan doesn't work anymore, and I haven't gone around to fixing it yet. But to play on my dock, I have to use a USB-C extender to my Switch, and I'm using a laptop cooler to prevent my Switch from overheating. And this fan cooler has a metal grill. After I stopped using the laptop cooler and updated my Joy-Cons, the connectivity issue seemed to go away. Looks like I'm gonna have to fix my fan and stop being lazy. But if you're still having issues after all that, before you open up your Joy-Cons, check on the Nintendo website if they offer to repair your Joy-Cons for free. All you have to do is ship it, and it'll take about 2 weeks to fix. But if you're impatient like me, you can fix the issue for about $8. And one other thing that could fix them is just blowing them with a little bit of computer cleaner. And if all this fails, then sure, it's time to replace your Joy-Con analogs. You're gonna need a Phillips head and a tri-wing screwdriver. First, remove the 4 tri-wing screws on the outside of the Joy-Con shells. Once you open up the Joy-Cons, you can remove the battery, just pry it up, it does have a little bit of glue from the factory. You can also go ahead and remove the battery cable and just pull this wire up to disconnect the wire. After that, you're going to remove these 5 screws here to remove this middle shell here. Be careful when removing this part, it does have a ribbon cable used for ZL on that middle shell. You can disconnect the ribbon cable by simply using your fingernail to lift the flap on the wire connector. You can unplug these ribbon cables to free up the 2 screws that hold the Joy-Con analog stick in place. Remove the 2 Phillips head screws and also disconnect the analog stick from its own ribbon cable connector, and you should be able to just remove it from the Joy-Con. Once you remove it, you can leave that dust cover on there, grab the new analog stick, and insert it the same way with the screws in place and the ribbon cable towards the right side. Now work your way backwards, replacing the screws you removed and inserting the ribbon cables you unplugged. When plugging in the ribbon cable from that inner shell, make sure the connector faces upwards, as that is the only one facing in the opposite direction when plugging into the connector. Once you close your Joy-Cons back up, make sure to calibrate the stick once again before you start using it. And just like that, your Joy-Con drift problem is over. It's a relatively easy fix, and if you don't want to wait about 2 weeks, you can do it yourself for under $10. Although I don't use the Joy-Cons myself too much because I have a Pro controller, when people come over or I need an extra controller, the Joy-Cons come in handy, so it's important that I have them in working order. That being said, I do prefer this Pro controller as it does give you a more robust feel like the Xbox or PlayStation controller. They're usually around $70, but sometimes you can find them on sale, and I would recommend one because it makes playing long sessions easier, and the build quality seems to be better. This one hasn't given me any issues so far. Now I can really win a race in Mario Kart again. What? I can't move! Damn it!